Fanfic Corner, presented by Jennifer. Sombra's Midnight Star, Chapter 1, The Meeting, written by The White Stone, read by Jennifer. Spa day, spa day, spa day with Cadence, Pinkie Pie rambled excitedly as the train raced towards the Crystal Empire. Pinkie Pie and the rest of the main six were headed to the Crystal Empire to spend some quality time with Cadence and give her a well-deserved break from Flurry Heart. But Twilight was on the train for another reason. She, Spike, and Rainbow Dash had been summoned by Princess Celestia to investigate pony disappearances in the mountains beyond the Crystal Empire. Dash rolled her eyes at the pink pony's antics. "Some of us, Pinkie," Dash said, crossing her hooves, "are not going to have a spa day. No, we're going to do something way cooler." She grinned, her pride swelling at being able to serve her country. "Besides, what am I going to do at a spa? It's not like I need it." "Excuse me, Rainbow Dash, but every pony needs a spa day," interjected a highly offended Rarity. "Besides, it could do wonders for your mane. Am I right, Twilight?" Twilight, darling, are you okay?" "Excuse me." Startled, Twilight jolted and looked around. "Are you talking to me, Rarity?" asked a confused Twilight. She didn't even realize that she was on the train. Then, lost again in her musings, Twilight's focus shifted to one single thought. What happened to the ponies? Apparently, the disappearances have been terrorizing Equestria for 3 weeks. 12 ponies had gone missing. 4 ponies per week. Where were they? Were they all right? Twilight? Were they endangered? Twilight? What dangers were looming? Twilight! How would she... Twilight! What? Twilight jumped. She looked around at her concerned friends. Fluttershy sat up straighter in her seat, opening her mouth. "Sorry for yelling, Twilight, but we've been trying to get your attention for 10 minutes now. Please tell us what's on your mind." Twilight felt guilty for spacing out. In turn, she remorsefully looked at each of her friends' eyes. Well, except for Applejack, who was snoring the day away. "Sorry, every pony," she said meekly. "I was just thinking about those missing ponies. Who took them? For what? From the reports, the ponies who disappeared all acted funny before they went into the mountains. So, there's magic happening there. I just don't know what kind of spell caused this. And Celestia is counting on me to find them, and... Feeling one of her friend's wings on her shoulder, she stopped. She looked to her right. Rainbow Dash had a small smile on her face. "It's going to be okay, Twilight. Everything is going to be okay. Breathe. Just breathe." Dash gently coaxed her into a calmer state of mind. She really felt bad for the purple pony, bearing the responsibilities of an element of harmony and princess duties on top of that. She couldn't fathom the stress Twilight was experiencing. "You know, Twilight, when I'm getting ready for a race, I get nervous." "Yeah, I know. The great Twilight Dash getting nervous? Impossible, right? But I do. When it happens, I just stop myself and tell myself to breathe. So, Twilight, take a big breath and just let it out." Twilight closed her eyes. "Okay. Inhale, exhale. In, out." "That's it, Twilight. Just breathe," Dash encouraged. After 3 minutes of simple breathing, Twilight opened her eyes, feeling much better. She turned to Dash and smiled. "Thanks, Rainbow Dash. I really needed that." Dash returned her smile. "Hey, what are friends for?" Twilight peered at Applejack, who was still causing a small ruckus with her snoring. Twilight glanced out the window and then back at Applejack. The purple pony pursed her lips and directed her eyes at her balloon cutie-marked friend. Pinky, she said, we're almost at the Crystal Empire, right? Pinky bounced up and down excitedly. Why, certainly, Twilight. We're almost there. Why do you ask? Pinky twittered, tilted her head, trying to figure out what her purple friend meant. Twilight sighed. Well, you see, if we're almost there, we should wake Applejack up, right? Pinky nodded enthusiastically. Yes, ma'am. Oh, thanks, Celestia. We can finally shut her up, Rainbow Dash yelled, not disturbing the surprisingly sound sleeper Applejack. Her snoring has been hurting at my ears. Rainbow Dash, Rarity reprimanded. That is not very nice. Besides, you are far worse than Applejack, if I may say so myself. Rarity preened herself and gazed at her reflection in the window. Rainbow Dash snapped her head towards Rarity. Really, Rarity, is that true? She seethed. And how the hell would you know? Rarity, are you watching me when I sleep? Rainbow Dash was boiling inside. How dare she watch me in my sleep? That creep. Rarity calmly turned to Rainbow Dash and opined, well, it's quite not hard to watch or hear you sleep when you insist on taking naps in my bed, or in my trees, or in the clouds above my boutique. I swear, when I first heard you snore, I thought there was a thunderstorm looming. Then I thought to myself, that can't be. There's no rain scheduled today. Then I saw you napping in my tree and waking all the poor animals around you. Applejack sounds like a soft lullaby compared to you. Rainbow Dash's jaw hit the floor. That's true, Pinky chimed. Fluttershy shyly nodded her head in agreement. Applejack snored on. Dash started to sputter. Well, you talk in your sleep, Rarity, and Fluttershy sleepwalks, and don't get me started on Pinkie Pie. Every pony started yelling at once. Why are you watching me sleep, Dash? I don't sleepwalk. What do you mean, don't get me started on Pinkie Pie? Well, Dashy, I'm going to show you how to get started on Pinkie Pie. Twilight burst out laughing. Every pony stopped and looked at her. Then they looked at each other and joined in the laughter. When every pony caught their breath, Twilight looked at Pinkie Pie and asked, Do you have a blowhorn? Pinkie Pie just smiled and retrieved a blowhorn from her mane. She turned towards Applejack's. Brrrah! Applejack bolted from her seat, hitting the ceiling in the process. What in tarnation was that? Applejack yelled. Who in Celestia's good name did that? But then every pony's laughter prevented her from giving an answer for about 2 minutes. When every pony calmed down, Pinkie ratted on Twilight. It was her idea. I was just following her orders. Applejack looked at Twilight with her in her eyes. You know, Sugar Cube, that wasn't very nice, so you better keep an eye open tonight. I'm coming for you. Twilight gulped. Yes, ma'am. Applejack smirked. The cabin door opened, and in walked Spike. He had been hiding in the next car, trying to get away from Applejack's snoring. The poor dragon's ears were still ringing from the noise. When he returned to the ponies to inform them that they had almost arrived, he saw Applejack was awake. Oh, thanks, Celestia, Spike cried and fell to his knees. Applejack is awake. I can finally hear myself think. Applejack stared at Spike. What in tarnation are y'all going on about? She exclaimed. Fluttershy looked at Applejack and softly said, Well, you see, Applejack, when you sleep, you snore really loudly. I'm sorry to say it, but you sound like a bear with a cold. Then she hid between her wings. I was thinking more along the lines of a dying walrus. Dash interjected with her 2 cents. What? Applejack exclaimed. I do not. I feel positively awful for saying this, Applejack, but you do, Rarity started. However, it's nothing to be ashamed of. By the way, Applejack, have you seen a doctor about your little problem? Flustered, Twilight yelled, Guys, stop it! This conversation is over. Are we clear? Every pony murmured, Yes, Twilight. Now, Dash, she said, turning towards her friend. Tell me what's the plan. I want to go over it again. Dash nodded. So here's the plan. I'll fly up in the air and watch the known trails in the mountains while you and Spike look for magic residue on the ground. If I see a pony on the trail, I'll go straight to you. Then that can only happen because the spell Celestia cast when she gave us this mission. So, when I give you the location of the pony, we'll poof! Poof! Pinky interrupted. Yeah, Pinky, poof, as in teleport. Okay, carry on. Thank you. Rainbow Dash rolled her eyes. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. We'll teleport to the location of the pony and follow them to wherever the missing ponies are. Thank Celestia that Cadence decreed no pony allowed to go hiking until the spell is over. Thank you, Rainbow Dash, Twilight said. Now, we're here, Pinky interrupted again. Pinky, every pony yelled. What? Please, darling, stop interrupting, Rarity requested. It's quite rude. Every pony else nodded. Pinkie Pie looked at her feet. Oh, she mumbled. Sorry, every pony. It's just that I see Cadence over at the train station. We're going to have so much fun. First, we're going to... We get it, Pinkie, Rainbow Dash interrupted. Pinkie jumped into Rainbow Dash's seat and retaliated. Hey, I was talking. Dash bucked under the pink pony's weight. Pinkie, get off me. You're heavy. What do you do all day? Eat cake? Pinkie regarded her friend's question and nodded. Rarity huffed. Now, Pinkie, would you mind please getting off poor Rainbow Dash? How would you like it if she jumped on you? And we all know you do not like to be interrupted. So please, for all our sanities, stop this habit. It's uncouth. Pinkie scrambled off of Dash while mumbling an apology. She didn't quite appear contrite or remorseful, or even apologetic. She returned to her seat with a huff. Soon the wheels of the train screeched to a stop. Every pony got out of their seat. Cadence was pacing back and forth on the platform, stressed both about the disappearance and Flurry Heart. Back and forth she stomped, stopping every so often to see if the train was near. Back and forth, stop, look. Back and forth, stop, look. Your Highness, said Flash Sentry, moving into her path. Cadence looked at him. Flash, she warned, get out of my way. Flash responded, Why? 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 Because I said so. You need to get your brain examined if you don't understand an order. She moved around Flash. Flash fluffed his feathers in annoyance and turned back to the worried princess. Your Highness, he tried again. What? Flash gained points for not flinching, but then again, he was used to Cadence's mood swings. Shining Armor charged me with the task of watching over you and protecting you. What he meant by that was that I am to protect you with the physical and with the emotional. So, Your Majesty, I need you to breathe. Flash looked straight into her eyes. Cadence murmured a reply and stopped pacing. She relaxed her shoulders and let in and out she breathed. Then she lost her progress when she heard the telltale screech of brakes on the train. They're here! They're finally here! Cadence danced around Flash as his eyes rolled. Yes, they are, Flash said in a bored tone. Your Highness, please contain yourself. This is not how a princess acts. Oh, stop it. You just don't want me to embarrass you in front of Twilight. Cadence waved him off. Flash shook his head, exasperated. Sucking in a breath, he replied, No, that's not it. You keep shipping me with your sister-in-law. I'm merely trying to help you conduct yourself properly in front of every pony. I was assigned to you by Princess Celestia to teach you the ways of court. And since I'm also under Shining Armor, I have a job to protect the kingdom. And, by extension, you. So, by helping with court behaviors, I am protecting you from others worrying you are unfit to rule. Flesh peered into her eyes, willing Cadence to understand the weight of his task. However, Cadence rolled her eyes and returned her focus to the stopping train. Twilight stepped off the train and immediately crumpled to the ground, feeling a heavy weight on top of her. When she looked above her, she saw Cadence. The pink alicorn was flapping her wings excitedly. Twilight, you're here, Cadence rubbed her head on Twilight. Cadence, get off me, said Twilight as she endeavored to buck Cadence off. You're too heavy. What have you been eating, hay cakes? At this, Cadence started to laugh and remove her offended weight. No, not hay cakes, but though I do blame the pregnancy for my eating habits. So, my little ladybug, how have you been? Twilight returned to her host to their proper place under her body and smiled at Cadence. I've been well for the most part, though tense about the disappearances. You, on the other hand, look like shit. What? Is Flurry Heart giving you trouble? Cadence glared. Twilight revealed a smug grin. Cadence took a deep breath. Twilight, she started, the disappearances have taken a great toll on me, and didn't help when I asked Celestia for help when the first pony disappeared. She just sat on her withers and it did nothing. Nothing, Twilight, nothing. I'm sorry. I'm just so frustrated. It took 12 ponies disappearing to even do something. And she just sends you and your friends? Not that you weren't helpful, but come on. She could get off her pompous behind and do something. Twilight slowly backed away from the infuriated alicorn. Cadence's wings were fluttering aggressively. Her right eye was twitching. Twilight sighed. Cadence, she said, you really need a break. Like, really bad. Cadence snapped out of her bout of anger. No, not me, she said dryly. I don't need a break. I'm perfectly fine with screaming fillies with wings and magic and disappearing ponies. But enough about me. Guess who's with me? Come on, guess. No? Well, here it is. It's Flash Sentry. Yay! Yeah, I know. And, screamed Cadence. What do you mean, and? Twilight blinked. Cadence started to pace again. I thought you liked him. Not like him like a friend, but like him like a boyfriend. Back and forth. Cadence, you're doing it again. Twilight grounded out. And I said I had a small crush on him. When I went to that alternate universe, chasing Sunset Shimmer, I met a pony there who had the same name as Flash Sentry. He was the one I had a crush on, not this universe's pony. Got it? Back and forth. Cadence, did you hear me? Back and forth. Ugh, yelled Twilight. Flash! Yes, Your Majesty, Flash said. How may I be of service to you? Twilight turned towards the orange and blue Pegasus and said, tell Cadence that I love her and to get the rest and also goodbye. I'll see her later. You got it? You love her, get the rest, goodbye. You'll see her later. Did I miss anything? Inquired Flash as he tipped his head to the side. Twilight pursed her lips. Nope, she said. I think that's about it. Thank you. My pleasure, Your Highness, Flash bowed. Then Twilight turned to the majority of the main six who were standing with their mouths open. Applejack, on the other hand, was pulling luggage out of the train. She was grumbling about how the others were a bunch of lazy ponies. Twilight shook her head. Rainbow? Spike! Time to go. She grabbed her pack and started walking towards the trail. She heard a yeah from Dash somewhere overhead. Twilight let a small smile slip through. Princess Twilight, Flash yelled. Yes, she said over her shoulder. Flash caught up to her and looked her in the eye. Good luck. Thanks, she replied. He nodded and turned back. So the journey begins. The storm blew on the mountains worsened with every flap of Rainbow Dash's wings. She tried to chase the clouds away, but the darn things were coming back, bigger, blacker, and stronger. If it gets any worse, I'm going to need to ask Twilight for a weather spout to help dissipate these clouds. Oh, for Celestia's sake, there's lightning now. Now I'm going to have to fly around those darn things. Dash shook her head. At least she was wearing her Wonderbolt's uniform, or else she would have been frozen solid before she got to the mountains. She scanned the infamous mountain trail that had devoured 12 ponies, but she saw nothing. Nothing but snow and rocks. Nothing but snow and rocks and... Wait a minute. What is that? Is that... No, it can't be. There's not supposed to be any ponies on this trail. Where is that pony going? I'm going to follow. Dash flew closer to the pony. A lustrous gray coat glistened in the waning light as the pony trudged towards her unknown destination. Dash tried to get her attention for what seemed like hours, but Dash's efforts were ignored. The pony kept on walking. Finally, she came upon a cave. Twilight had never seen one like it. It looked like a gaping mouth of a dragon. The pony stepped into the mouth, and a great flash of light suddenly appeared and enveloped the pony. Dash screeched to a halt, barely missing the light. I gotta tell Twilight. Twilight grumbled as she trudged through the snow. She had had these wings for months, and she still couldn't seem to make them work for her. If she knew how to fly properly, she wouldn't be in the snow. When this mission is over, I am moving to the desert for the winter. It is so cold, she thought bitterly. Twilight stopped in her tracks, waking Spike. She looked at the sky. Twilight saw Rainbow Dash headed towards her at breakneck speed. Screaming, Twilight ducked. Dash crashed into the ground, screaming, Twilight! You need to fly now. Another pony disappeared. What? Screeched Twilight. Dash, are you okay? What do you mean another pony disappeared? I'm fine, Dash said as she brushed the snow off her coat. But there's no time. I know where the ponies disappeared to. But we have to hurry, so you need to fly now. But, no but. Now, Twilight, now, Dash screeched as she flared her wings. Okay, I get it, Twilight yelled. She spread her wings. Spike grabbed her mane as Twilight launched into the air. Thud! Twilight landed face first in the snow. Shaking it off, she tried again. After several launch attempts and a few crashes here and there, the three of them finally made it to the cave. As Dash landed perfectly at the mouth of the cave, Twilight tumbled head over tail all the way to the teeth of the cave. Twilight shook her head to clear the stars from her eyes. So this is where they went? Twilight asked. Dash shrugged. All the Pegasus knew was that the pony had disappeared there. Twilight took a deep breath. Okay, let's go. Wait, Dash called and reached for her friend, but she was too late. Twilight disappeared into the blinding light. A powerful blast knocked Spike into Dash. Twilight twisted around. Dash? Spike? Everything went dark. Twilight attempted movement, but a giant weight had settled on her. She pushed up on her front legs, wishing the weight was only Cadence's playful childness. Her legs buckled underneath her, and the weight refused to budge. Shh, it's okay, a deep, rich voice softly tickled her ears. It's all right, my little star. Everything is going to be all right. Sleep, and when you wake up, everything will be clear. Twilight faded out of consciousness.